Hello and welcome everyone. So let's continue modeling our object. I will just press 1 for the front view, enable X-ray, and let's see. We can now start by adding all these details like creating these screens, adding these buttons, everything. So for us to do that, we need to use the Boolean modifiers. I will just quickly give you an overview about them. But first, I want you guys to go over to Edit and in Preferences and in the Add-ons menu over here, make sure to search for the bool tool add-on, so this one, and just make sure you have this enabled. We will be using this a lot. It gives us like small shortcuts for using boolean modifiers, so yeah, it is pretty useful. We don't have to like go into the modifier tab again and again. So this add-on like comes pre-installed with Blender only. You just have to enable it. So yeah, after you enabled it, just close this window and let's see. We can start by quickly adding a cube to just show you what we can do with the Boolean modifiers. Select this cube and I will just press Shift plus D to duplicate it. The first very simple operation that we can use with Boolean modifier is there are like 2 or 3 of them. So the first one that you can visualize easily is you just select this cube, select this first cube, and now hold Shift, select the second cube. Then you can press Control plus minus key on your number pad. That is the shortcut for Boolean difference operation. As soon as you do that, you will see we have created this cutout using cube 1 onto cube 2. You can now select this cube 1 and when you move it around, you can see the cutout is also moving. So basically, this is Boolean modifier. We can like create different cutouts and many other things. I will just quickly show you. This is like one of the operations of Boolean modifier. Using this, we can like create very complex shapes and it will help us a lot in our course. So yeah, this was the first one. You can like even duplicate this thing. Let's place it over here. And again, select this first, then select this one, then press Control plus minus on your number pad. And you can see we can create like multiple cutouts using multiple different objects. So yeah, this is the first Boolean modifier operation. I will just select this, delete this and delete this one also. Click on the cube and make sure to remove both of these modifiers. Again, let's duplicate this. The second one is pretty basic. You can just select the first cube, then select the second cube, then press Control and the plus key on your number pad. Basically, this one is the union modifier. Now, both of these cubes have joined together. You can see we have like 3 different operations: difference, union, and intersection. So, union will basically join these two. You won't really see the difference with this, but as soon as I select this object and let's add a bevel modifier to it, you can see the bevel is like completely connected to both of the objects and they both seem like a single object only. If you just enable harden, normals and auto smooth, let's say I just add 2 cubes like this and I place them together in a similar way like this. You will see over the edges it is not looking that realistic, but if you use the Boolean modifier, we can add like things like bevel to make it smooth around the edges where these two objects are joining. Make it look like a little bit more realistic. You can see we can control the bevel over here also where these two objects are joining. So yeah, that's why it is like different from doing it this way. We can also adjust maybe the segments to make it smoother. So yeah, we can do all sorts of things, but I rarely use the union operation. I mainly use the difference operation and the intersection. So intersection is also pretty cool. Let's use these 2 cubes now. I will select this first cube, then select this second one. And what intersection will do is you will first press Control and then the divide or the slash key on your number pad. And you will see that this cube 1 has created like a cutout like thing onto our cube 2. So this is like really useful. What you can do now is you can select this main object and let's add a bevel modifier to it. And you can see we have created some sort of this shape. It is like really helpful while creating like sci-fi type designs. And yeah, anything where you have to create like this cutout like shape. It will also be really useful when we will be creating a Nintendo Game Boy. You can select this one too and add a bevel modifier to this also. And you can see how we can control like both of these objects. You can like move it around easily. So yeah, basically these are the 3 operations of the Boolean modifier. They are like pretty cool to use and you can get like various interesting shapes with this. So yeah, with this our little introduction of Boolean modifiers is done. So let's just select this all, delete it, and I will show you how we can use all of them into our model. So press 1 again, let's enable X-ray, and let's first create this thing over here, this big screen. So to do that, basically just start a cube, and again we need to just match it along with the reference image properly. So just press tab, press 1 for the vertices select these vertices, bring them down, select these two and press G then X, and then select these bottom ones, then G, then Z, and place them like this. We don't really have to worry about like the thickness of the object. We can just maybe place it like this. Any thickness would do. This much is pretty good. So now if you remember, I mentioned earlier, whenever we change the scale of the object, we need to apply it. So press Ctrl A and apply the scale. Press 1 for the front view, enable X-ray. And obviously now we need to create all these small bevels. So to do that, first press tab, press 2 for edge select, and make sure your scale is applied, because if the scale is not applied and you try to bevel all these edges, it might give you weird results. So yeah, press tab, press 2 for edge select and select this edge. Now press Ctrl B to bevel it out, and you can use your scroll wheel to increase the number of segments. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. For this edge, now I will select all 3 of these. So press tab again, hold shift and select all 3 of them. Press 1 again for the front view, and let's bevel these now. We can decrease the number of segments. Alright, that's pretty good in my opinion. Press tab, and we have created the shape that we need to create a cutout of. So right click and shade smooth this first, enable auto smooth. And now what we need to do is we need to just select this, press G, then Y, and just move it inwards just a little bit so that these two objects are intersecting. And now what I want you guys to do is I want you to open up your reference images. And now what I want you guys to do is you can quickly open up your reference images folder and look at this reference image. Zoom in over here, and you have to see what type of cutout that we have to create. So obviously we cannot really work with the union or the difference operation even. If you select these two, press Ctrl plus minus, we get something like this. That is because of the bevel modifier. We need to just move it down like this. Yeah, you can see we have created the cutout, but if you notice the reference image, we don't have to create like this sort of cutout. We have to use the intersection. So let's just undo this all. Select this first, then select this, then press Ctrl plus slash. And now you will notice we have got something like the reference image. We have something like this. We also have a cutout, but we also have a shape in between. So for things like these, the intersect operation of the Boolean modifier is really useful. But you can see the shading is really weird. So to fix this, just select this, and you have to like make it a rule of thumb. Whenever we are working with the Boolean modifiers, the bevel modifier will always stay at the bottom of the stack. No matter how many modifiers are there, the bevel modifier, this one, will always stay at the bottom of the stack. If you do that, all your problems will be fixed, like related to the shading issues. For this piece also, select this inside one and make sure to move the bevel modifier below this. You can disable all the overlays to see your model properly, and you can see we have got a perfect cutout of the screen. What you can do now is you can open up this bevel modifier and you can play around with the bevel value to whatever you want. Like if you want a tight bevel, you can decrease it, or if you want like a more smoother look, yeah, that is definitely up to you. We can maybe place it somewhere around here. That looks fine in my opinion. Alright, so now I think you guys understand how to use the Boolean modifiers. Let's keep on moving further. Make sure to hit save. Let's enable the X-ray. And let's see, we can now create this screen portion at the middle. So to do that, again, we need to press Shift plus A, and let's just add a simple cube. And we can just scale this cube accordingly to the screen. Yeah, I think that fits perfectly. Before doing anything, let's just quickly press Ctrl A and apply the scale. And again, bring it out over here. select this piece, and now this time I will select this piece. So hold shift and then press Ctrl plus slash to use the intersection operation. And now we have something like this. Obviously we need to move the bevel modifier below this, then it would look better. So yeah, make sure to do this thing after every Boolean operation. Just select the bevel modifier and move it below the Boolean modifier. That way everything would work perfectly and we would have like correct shading everywhere. Alright, this looks pretty good in my opinion. Alright, so now let's again press 1, enable X-ray, and we have this small battery icon over here. We can also create that. Let's add a cylinder, scale this down, place it over here, press R, then X to rotate it on the X axis like this, and then you can type in your number pad 90 degrees, and then we can just scale it down. Yeah, that's fine, I think. Let's bring it up over here. Shade smooth this and also enable auto smooth, and again select the cylinder, then select this piece while holding shift, then you can press Ctrl plus slash to create the intersect. And now we need to again move the bevel modifier at the bottom, so just drag it down at the bottom of the stack. Make sure to do it for both of the pieces like this. Alright, I will reduce the bevel amount just a little bit. Also, I will just select this piece, press G, then Y, and move it a little bit backwards like this. Just to give it like that screen-like look. Select this piece, move this also backwards. Then I will select this again and just move it a little bit more. I think till here is pretty good. Yeah, that's okay, I think. Alright, next we can start to create the buttons over here. So let's start with this one first. Add a cube, scale it down, place it over here. And let's see, we can create it very easily. I think we can just place it over here. Let's bring it out like this. And then press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press tab, and let's see. Press 3 for face select, and let's select the top face and the bottom face. Press 1 for the front view, press Alt plus E, and extrude faces along normal. And then you can extrude it like this. Let's extrude this till here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I will just increase the thickness of this a little bit. And yeah, now in a similar way, let's move these apart. Yeah, now press 3, select this face and select this face. Again press 1, then Alt plus E, extrude faces along normal. You can also hold shift while extruding to move it a little bit slower. And then you can place it perfectly like this. I think the actual button is still here. Alright, I think we are pretty good to go now. Let's bring it out. Press G, then Y. Press tab, press 3 for face select. Let's select this face and just move it downwards like this. Shade smooth this and also enable auto smooth. Next, I will add a bevel modifier to this. Okay, before actually adding a bevel modifier, what I want to do is remove the bevel modifier, select this piece and just press Shift plus D to duplicate it like this, and then hit right click over here so that both of them are exactly at the same place like this. So the reason I'm doing this is because I have to use like one of the piece to actually create the difference operation. So what I mean by that is basically if I just quickly select this one again and delete it so that there is just one of them, I have to select this piece and then select this one, Then press Control plus minus to actually create the difference operation over here. And then we can use the other one as the actual buttons. So yeah, I will just undo everything quickly. And before actually creating the difference operation, just select this piece, press Shift plus D, duplicate it, and then hit right click to place it exactly over here. Then we can select this piece, then select this one, then press Control plus minus to actually create the difference operation. Move the bevel modifier at the bottom. And yeah, now we can see this is the reason I created a duplicate, because we have this button over here also. And now we also have the difference operation that we did just now. Alright. Now I will just select this, press tab, press 2 for edge select, and select all these edges like this one, this one. So the shortcut for this is just hold Control and Alt and click over here. And you can see now all of them are selected. Press tab first and press Control A, apply the scale. Make sure the scale is applied. Press tab again, press Control B, and let's bevel it out like this. I don't really know how much bevel we should go for. Let's enable X-ray and see over here. I think this much is pretty good. Shade smooth this again and enable auto smooth, and now we can maybe add a bevel modifier to this if we want to. Enable harden normals. Alright, so next we will detail the buttons even more. So select this piece, and if you know, whenever we add a new object, so press Shift A and add a cube, it always gets added to this 3D cursor over here. So we can change the location of this 3D cursor wherever we want. You can hold Shift, then use your right click to move it around, and wherever this 3D cursor is placed, if you add a new object, it will be added over there at the location of the 3D cursor only. So let's delete this. I want to move the 3D cursor exactly over here at the origin point so that it gets added exactly at the center of our button. So to do that, just select the button, press Shift plus S, then cursor to selected. It will bring the cursor over here. And now just press Shift A and let's add a cylinder. Let's scale this down, rotate it by 90 degrees like this, and we'll just create a small hole in the center. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. Select this piece, then select this one, then press Control plus minus, and just make sure to quickly move the bevel modifier below this. Select this and let's bring it out. We don't want it too much. I think this much is pretty good. Alright, that's fine, I think. Next, if you look over in the reference image, we have the small ridges like thing created over our button. So let's add that too. So press Shift A, let's add a cube, scale it down. Let's place it over here like this. Scale it up to match the scale. Disable X-ray and let's bring this out over here. Press Control A, apply the scale, press Tab, and we will just bevel it out in the corners. So hold Control and Alt and select all these edges, then press Control plus B. Decrease the number of segments because this is like a really small object. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. One more thing that I will show you is you can select any object, like let's select both of them while holding Shift. Then you can press slash on your number pad to isolate them and work without the rest of the objects. So this is really useful when you just have to focus on a couple of objects or one single one. You can just select them and press slash to go into the local mode, and you can easily edit them here. So I will just select this. Let's press 3 for the right side view and rotate it a little bit like this. Now to duplicate this, we can press Shift plus D to duplicate it like this. But I think a better way would be to just go over here, select it, and let's add an array modifier. You can see we can create duplicates with the array modifier, any number of them. But we don't want it on this axis. We actually want it on the Y axis, sorry, on the Z one. So set the factor of X to 0 and increase the factor on the Z like this. Press slash again to come out of the local mode, press 1 and enable X-ray. And let's just quickly see the reference image. Alright, so that fits perfectly. Maybe I will just push it in a little bit and add 4 of them. I think 3 was fine. I think this way it looks much better. We don't really have to go exactly according to the reference image. I will now select this and now add a mirror modifier to this. And to mirror it properly over here, we need to set an axis. So we can select this object as the mirror axis. So select this object and over here in the mirror object, click over here and select this. Then set the Z axis and disable the X, and you can see we have mirrored it perfectly. But we cannot really mirror it over here. We just need to select it and then duplicate it. Like this, we can disable the Z and set the X axis now. Now just rotate it by 90 degrees. Press 3 for right side view. Enable X-ray first, and let's see. We can place them over here. But we need to fix their rotation. Press R then Z and rotate it like this. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. Now to push it inwards, press G, then Y, and then you can press Y once again to align it perfectly with the rotation and just move it inwards like this. And yeah, now I think our button looks pretty good. We can maybe select everything over here and just push it in, these two also. So press G then Y and move it inwards because I think the button is not that big. Maybe we can see it from the right side view. So press 3. I think this is fine. I will also select the cylinder object and move it backwards. Alright. Next, let's see. Press 1 again, enable X-ray. Make sure to hit save and we can create these buttons now. So these ones are really easy to create. We can press Shift A, add a cylinder, scale it down, rotate it on the X-axis by 90 degrees, place it right over here. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. And let's see, before doing anything, we need to create the cutout for the buttons. So just select this one, enable X-ray, press Shift plus D, duplicate it over here. And now while these two are selected, select them both and then select this one at the last. Press Ctrl then minus to create the difference operation. Move the bevel modifier at the bottom. Alright, now we can actually start making the buttons. So select this one, press Shift plus S, cursor to select it to bring the cursor over here. Now we can add another cylinder, scale this down, rotate it on the X by 90 degrees. Let's see, let's scale the button down, move it outwards, shade smooth this first and enable auto smooth. Press tab to go into the edit mode. First, let's press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press tab, press 3 for face select. Let's select this top face and I will decrease its size like this. Next, we can go over to modify and add a bevel modifier to this. Adjust the bevel amount and enable harden normals and auto smooth. Press 2 for edge select, hold Alt and select this complete loop. Let's press Ctrl B and we can try beveling it this way. Let's see if that works. Alright, this looks pretty good in my opinion. You can also add a weighted normal modifier to correct the shading even more. You can see the shading is just a little bit weird. So sometimes adding a weighted normal modifier just fixes that. And yeah, the button looks pretty good in my opinion. Now I will just press Shift plus D and place it over here. If you want to place it perfectly at the center of this thing over here, there is like a small shortcut for this or like a trick. But first we need to go over to Edit, Preferences and enable another add-on. So search for the Copy Attributes menu over here. This also comes pre-installed with Blender. You just need to enable it from over here. And after enabling it, when you press Ctrl plus C, you will see this huge menu appearing. So to use it, first select this object, then select this one because we want to copy the location to over here. Then press Ctrl C and then just select copy location. And yeah, you can see it gets placed perfectly at the center. Alright, let's hit save. And I think this video has gotten a little bit long. So we will end it here and we'll continue from here in the next one. Thank you guys for watching.